think that's just a demonic show straight up and down. She finds out that she is being manipulated by a demon, which is what demons do. Another thing, don't give in to the hype of these shows that are supernatural, superhuman. It makes being human seem deplorable and unattractive. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and also welcome if you are new. I'm so grateful to have you here. So my name is AkuaB, and here on this channel I cover all things faith, lifestyle and beauty related, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you some movies and TV shows that I will not watch or regret watching as a Christian. But before I get straight into that, I just want to quickly encourage you to leave a like down below on today's video, and also comment something that you enjoyed from it, shows that you will not watch either, and some of your own if they're not included on the list. And if you haven't already, then please make sure that you are subscribed to this channel for more content just like this. And if you're subscribed already, then please don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And let's get straight into it. Okay, so quite a while ago from now, I actually came across a YouTube video in my recommendations, right here, hopefully, on Nastasia Grace's channel, and that was talking about the same thing, TV shows and movies that she regretted watching as a Christian. And I just thought it was a fun thing to do, seeing as though when you get saved, there's a lot of things that you would not go back to or things that you regret watching. And then also you have foresight and you have wisdom and discernment to not watch certain things and just guard your heart from those things. So I'm just gonna be doing my own list of TV shows, and hopefully I'll be able to do more parts in the future, because there is a lot of just unsanitary TV shows and movies out there that are not fit for Christian eyes. Okay, so the first item on my list is The Good Place. And at first when I heard of The Good Place, I was like, oh, this is such a good, like, light-hearted, really imaginative show, and it's just depicting the afterlife in a way that's like quite quirky, humorous, it's got a lot of comedy. But then I realised that it actually has a dark truth behind it, and it has a dark, I don't want to say intention, because it might have not been intended badly, but it's just a very misleading show. And as a Christian, it totally removes God out of the equation and makes it up to us to be able to earn our salvation, and it's a very works-based show. So if we're looking at it through the eyes and through the lens of scripture, it's basically saying that works will get you into the good place. So it has a points-based system. So it has green, you go up in points and that gets you into the good place, and you have red, the negative points that get you into the bad place. And a bit of a spoiler, so if you've not watched it, well, you're probably not going to watch it if you're watching this list anyway, but it's a bit of a spoiler that the main character actually is in the bad place and they think they're in the good place, which is actually a great idea for this show, because it is the bad place in totality, in my opinion. It's just not a good show for Christians. And she finds out that she is being manipulated by a demon, which is what demons do, and she's surprised by that. And then the show goes on to have them integrate demons and humans, or humans in the afterlife, so I don't know if they're spirits or whatever like that, but they basically go on to form a friendship and an alliance and start to work together. And I've not finished the whole of The Good Place. I think I still had a few episodes left, but there was a point where I just started being like, I don't want to watch this anymore. I just started getting convicted to be like, this isn't where it's at. The next show on my list is Lucifer, and I know this is on a lot of people's list. This is probably going to be included in another video that I do in future, and it's very closely linked to this TV show, and that is the whole reason for that video in future. But Lucifer is such a misleading and manipulative show. It depicts the devil, literally Lucifer, to be the protagonist. It makes us to try and empathize with him and sympathize with him and see things from his perspective. But what it doesn't tell you is all the scripture in the Bible, and I'll probably put it up on the screen like one after the other, where it describes how the devil hates humans, how he's anti-Christ, how he hates Jesus, and how he is not for us. And it tries to depict him as this suave, mysterious, good-looking guy, and that is just not the truth of the matter at all. So I think that's just a demonic show straight up and down, and I will just completely avoid that show. I tried to watch the first episode, I think it was even before I was saved, and even then I just couldn't watch it, because it was just like, this is the devil, like this is the guy that wants me to go through torture on a daily basis, that wants me to have mental health issues, that wants me to have body image issues, that wants me to go to hell. So why am I celebrating his ups and downs and trying to relate to him in this show? So this next show is Sabrina, and this is very close to Lucifer. I've not actually watched any of this, and I never will. I stopped watching Riverdale when I knew that there was going to be some kind of crossover between those two shows, and I knew that it was rumour at the time. I'm not sure if it's actually happened, because I've completely cut those two shows off. And Riverdale is another one that I will never watch again, but that is not on the list for its own reasons. It's just, I don't even think it's worthy to be on this list. But Sabrina is just a totally demonic show. It shows occult practices and demonic imagery all the way through it, with unapologetic depictions of it. So I just would steer clear of that show 100%, and it is definitely not for Christian eyes, and I would say guard your heart and don't watch any of these shows on the list. The next thing on the list is the Vampire Diaries, and I actually watched quite a bit of this. I think I got up to season 4, but there's a point that you come to when you're saved, when you're just like, why am I watching this? Like, I remember I tried to watch it again like a year ago or something like that, like quite a while ago when I was bored, and I just needed a series to binge, and I just like watching other people's reactions to the Vampire Diaries from a Christian perspective. All of these shows that are supernatural, superhuman, it makes being human seem deplorable and unattractive in comparison to things that are unhuman and unnatural, literally unnatural, things that drink blood, things that kill without cause for it, things that abuse and just manipulate the laws that God has put into place for purpose. Like, all of these things don't naturally exist because God doesn't want them to. So that is why the Vampire Diaries is on this list. It is a very manipulative and seductive show to watch. So if you're young and you're watching that, I'd just say guard your heart, stop watching it. There's plenty of other TV shows to watch that could entertain you, and it just glorifies things that are unnatural and ungodly. The next thing is American Horror Story, and I've stayed away from horror as a genre for so long because of the negative effects of watching horror and things that are gory and very graphic. So I'm gonna do a video on like steering clear of like things that are ungodly and things that just aren't pleasing to God. So I'm gonna do that in a future video and fully explain and flesh that out in a later video. But American Horror Story is on that because it's just very graphic and there's just no need for it, and it's just very it's trying to get you to have emotional reactions like quite quickly. It's very gory, intense, vivid, and that's just not very godly. It's just very it's just out to give you cheap thrills, and honestly I do think it's overhyped. Okay, so the next TV show that I will never be watching again, and I've watched quite a bit of it, is Misfits, and that is because of the sexual nature of it. It is very graphic and it is very what's the word, it's very gritty and grimy, and it's very like to the point, no filter, very graphic, very vivid, and it is just, it's got no place for being like a teenage show. I think teenagers these days are very overexposed to sexual things too early, and there's just a reservation that I have, especially as a Christian, watching stuff like that. It's just like a total no-go. So definitely don't watch that if you're having any struggles with lust, anything like that. It's just not the show for you. The next show on this list is Euphoria, and that is because it is just very opposite to the scripture in the Bible where it says to stay sober-minded, and I think that it can be very tempting to try and mimic what you see on TV, especially as a younger person, and I don't know, these days anyone can get access to almost anything if you try hard enough, and I know that younger kids are probably watching Euphoria because Zendaya's in it. Pretty sure she was a Disney kid, I don't know too much about her, but it was quite a popular show when it came out, and I think I watched the first like 1 or 2 episodes because it had such a massive hype around it. And that is another thing, don't give in to the hype. Just because a show is hyped up so much, make sure you really know what that's about before you dive into that, because these shows are created to make you come back for more. They're created to have cliffhangers and storylines that they want you to follow and they want you to engage in. So just make sure that you're not fully investing into TV shows that don't bear good fruit. This deals a lot with drug use, alcoholism, sexual immorality, all that different stuff, and it's just not good. The next thing on this list is American Gods, and this is just one thing that I've just never watched, and I'm pretty sure it's very new. I don't know if it's even come out yet, but this is something that I am not going to watch. I'm gonna steer clear of it. I don't even know what it's about, but as soon as I saw American Gods, I was like, no, and that should be with a little G, like correct that please. So the next 3 I actually had like a really deep love for and admiration for because I watched them like die hard. Like I was so into these shows, and the first one is You, the TV show. So this is about like a stalker / serial killer called Joe, and it is just about being in his mind and seeing things from his perspective, and just seeing the way he plans out his victims and his motivations, his intentions with them, and all these different things. And this is just a show that is very graphic, very unapologetic, very dry, and it's not very empathetic to victims. It's just very I would say quite malicious and also twisted and just sick. Like I just wouldn't watch this. I'd stay clear of it. It's just very weird. And if you have been watching all of these shows, just pray about it. Like stay true to your convictions. These shows are not for everybody and they are not made for everybody, and I would suggest that Christians just stay clear of them completely. The next one is The Handmaid's Tale. So this is something that I really got into because of the Christian background, and I know a lot of people probably watched it as a Christian, just watching it to see what it said about Christians, how it depicted Christians in this TV show. And if you were very hopeful for this, well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. The Handmaid's Tale is based on a twisted perception and enforcement of Christianity, and it's basically to the detriment of women in the show. So I just wouldn't watch it because it mishandles scripture, it mishandles representation of Christians, and it is just a very dystopian world. So if you're easily triggered by traumatic events, especially involving children and motherhood and pregnancy, then I just definitely wouldn't watch it. And also it tries to trivialize like not sexual immorality, but like the R word with abuse, sexual abuse. So it's just not trivialize it, but you see it quite often, and I think that when you see things so often, you can often become numb to it. And as Christians, we should be guarding our hearts, so I don't think that by consuming these things often, it's going to be good for us in the end. In the Bible, it says something along the lines of out of the mouth speaks the abundance of the heart, or something like that. It's basically saying like what we feed ourselves spiritually, emotionally, is going to come back out some way, and it's going to present itself. So just watching these shows is just a no-go for me. Just stay clear of Handmaid's Tale. Please do not watch it. It is a no-no. And the last TV show is How to Get Away with Murder. And just in that title, it's just like, excuse me, like what did you say? So this show is basically following a bunch of university students or college students in America and their professor in law, and it's basically going through crime, and there's death involved, there's murder involved, there's cover-up involved. So I just wouldn't watch this just to guard my heart, because there's a lot of manipulation and espionage and all of that stuff. It's just a lot of uncleanness, lies, manipulation, games, mentally, emotionally, and it's just not one of those shows that you should be watching for entertainment as a Christian. And I just say guard your heart with this. Just don't watch it. It's very vivid. It's entertaining, yes, but it's not worth it. Okay, so that is the end of today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, then please make sure to leave a like down below and also comment some series or TV shows or movies that you will not watch or you regret watching. And also, if you haven't already, then please make sure that you are subscribed to this channel before clicking out of the video, and I'll catch you in my next one. Stay blessed and bye!